Hey there. So I've been up in our loft area all morning long, transforming it. We normally use this space as a kind of a catch-all. We do some workouts up here. We also, if somebody's visiting, this is where we set up for guests, and we have our family computer and files and a bunch of really a bunch of stuff, a bunch of junk up here. And so it's kind of been that catch-all room. And this morning I've been transforming it into an art space for myself and for the boys. So I kind of feel able to do this now because we are planning on moving very soon, and we won't need to use the space probably for anyone else to come over until we do move. And so until then, I would like to, or I was very, very inspired to yesterday and this morning, to transform this space into an art space. And I know that when I'm incredibly inspired to do something, that it's most likely from my intuition, and that means to me that it's probably the best thing that I could be doing. So that's what I've been doing this morning. And then while I was doing all of this moving around and taking out all of our art stuff and getting it all organized, that inspired me to talk to you guys a bit about raising healthy children. Because it's something that I believe is just so incredibly important, and it could be one of the biggest ways that I could give back to others with my knowledge of health and all the things that Doug and I have studied about raising children in a healthy way. And so I wanted to start today with just diet, since that's the number one thing. That's kind of like a door to me. It's a door that opens up to the rest of your life. If you yourself don't have a healthy diet, then it kind of shuts off a lot of things that could be going on in your life. Granted, there's ways that people get around this, but everything just is a lot easier. It's a lot easier to expand and grow as a person if you have a healthy diet. And that's several reasons, but this also applies to children. It applies to everybody. And so as a parent, as a mother, of course you want your child to have the most resources they possibly could have for their lives. They want to have the most opportunities to expand and to grow and to learn and to be everything that they want to be, because we all want that for our children. And so if we're not feeding them a healthy diet, and they're consuming things that are toxic to their body, like preservatives and additives and just white sugar, just junk foods, this is putting a burden on their body and even on their consciousness. So, because our bodies can only handle so many things at once. And so if your body is constantly trying to rid itself of an overload of toxins, then that doesn't free up much space for you to be exploring other areas. And now this isn't concrete science by any means, but from lots of personal experience going back and forth in between eating healthy foods and not so healthy foods, and feeling exactly what happens in my body and listening to others who experience the same things, I just know that it really can be, like I said, just a big door. It's like all of a sudden this door opens, if you haven't been eating healthy, and then you start, all of a sudden a door opens and a whole new world of possibilities lays before you. And that's exactly what we want for our children, and I'm sure it's exactly what you want for your children as well. And so to do that, it's actually quite easy. I feel so blessed to have just been so excited since my children were small about figuring out ways to feed them healthy foods that they will still love it, that they'll still enjoy it, that they'll still get all the thrills that I had when I was a child, eating candies and cakes and, you know, whatever, all my treats, all the thrills that I got from food. I still give those to my children, but in a healthy way. And I love that I was so inspired by this as they grew up. And now I feel so blessed that I get to be able to share that with you, because it was easy, and it is easy. It still is to this day. So how do you go about feeding your children a healthy diet? And what is a healthy diet for children? For me, what I think a healthy diet for a child is wherever you are, start with less meat, less dairy, less sugar, less chemicalized artificial junk foods, and start adding in more fruits and more vegetables, especially fresh fruits and vegetables. So this is an easy formula to apply no matter where you're starting from. Wherever that happens to be, if you just take a second to think about, or just be quiet for a second and let your mind quiet itself, and then just say, okay, what should be my first step? Ask your own intuition, what should be my first step with my children? Based on the criteria that I just gave you: less meat, less dairy, less sugar, less chemicalized artificial junk foods, more fruits, more vegetables. So just ask your intuition and see what it says. The very first answer that comes into your head is the one. And then figure out ways to incorporate that, or to not incorporate those things in a way that would be fun for your child, and make it like an exploration for them. And that will go a long way towards helping you get your child to eat a more healthy diet. And when you get your child to eat a healthy diet, like I said, it's just going to start opening up a world of possibilities for them. Not to mention that it's an incredibly sad fact that if we continue to feed our children the way that we've been feeding them, then they are going to grow up with a shorter lifespan than their parents. This is the first time in known history that has ever happened. And then on top of that, there's tons of diseases that we've only been used to knowing in later life. Cancers and heart disease and diabetes, all these diseases and illnesses that are caused in the large part from our diets. Now all of a sudden these are starting to afflict children at younger and younger ages. And it just goes to show you that it's incredibly important to feed your children a healthy diet. And if you stick with me, I'll show you exactly how to make it easy. I'm going to have tons of recipes coming up, and probably more talks in this series about what it takes to raise a healthy child, what I believe it takes to raise a healthy child in today's modern world. And I'll probably be bringing Doug on the camera too, because he's extremely passionate about this issue as well, and I'm sure he has a lot to say about it. So be looking forward to the Raising Kids Healthy series coming up here on this channel, and as well as tons of recipes and tricks and tips to get your kids to eat healthy to go along with that series. Okay? I love you guys. Bye.